Good morning, Miss Ingram. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe.
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be reading School Year Jitters, September 9th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, on the first day of school, I thought I saw your handshake when you wrote your name on the chalkboard. That's when I figured you might be a little scared, just like me. And that made me feel better. Then you asked me to help you set up our brand new classroom post office, and that's when I figured this is going to be a great year. Thanks, Shannon. September 14th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, our classroom is awesome and I can't wait to send letters, and I hope I get lots and lots of letters back in the mail. And do you know the address of the White House? Sincerely, Josh. October 14th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, I thought of a few more things to add to our list of important things teachers should know. Number 1. On pizza day, we cannot be late. The pepperoni pizzas go fast. Number 2. More recess, please. Number 3. Bringing Friday treats is a great idea, but just so you know, most kids don't eat broccoli or cauliflower unless they have to. From Andy. P.S. Can this letter count as my example of a friendly letter? November 8th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, when Mrs. Burton came into our class today, your face turned really red. I peeked to see what she was writing. I couldn't read a word. Did you know Mrs. Burton has very messy handwriting? Sincerely, Carl. November 19th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, thank you for the delicious chocolate chip cookies. I'm sure Eddie didn't barf because of your baking. Actually, I think he got sick because he is a big, fat cookie hog. After you left to clean your shoes, Gordon, the janitor, said you'd probably never come back. I'm really glad you did. Very sincerely, Maria. November 22nd. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, I'm sorry about throwing up all over your shoes. I hope you didn't take it personally. I think I would have barfed over any teacher. Well, except Mr. Murphy. He scares the barf right out of me. Your friend, Eddie. P.S. I bought you some new socks. I hope you like them since I picked them out myself. December 3rd. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, Mrs. Burton is making me write this letter during detention. I'm supposed to tell you sorry for ruining our reading party. I'm not quite sure how Daisy got loose. While you were chasing her down the hall, Mrs. Burton came in and told us to get started on our math. The day went downhill after that. Sincerely, Andy. P.S. I'm sure Daisy will come back soon. December 6th. Dear Sarah, I found Daisy. Gordon. December 10th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, thanks to you, science is my all-time favorite subject. I thought firefighter Phil was nice, didn't you? I think I'll write him a letter. Scientifically yours, Jack. P.S. When you wear your safety goggles, you look just like my frog, Benny. December 14th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, I sure enjoyed our field trip to the museum. That guard almost had a heart attack. You jumped over the railing like a real track star. Good thing too, because if that buffalo had fallen over, all those cute little prairie dogs would have been smashed to smithereens. Excitedly yours, Margaret. December 14th. Sarah Jane. It's true, field trips are a bit tricky at first. Don't give up. Here are a few books that might help. Fondly, Mrs. Burton. In this classroom, everyone is a student, everyone is a teacher. January 5th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, I liked our discussion about good students and good teachers during circle time yesterday. I also liked the sign we made for our door. Sincerely, Alexandra. P.S. I made a sign just like that and put it up in my kitchen at home. My mom told me to do a little less teaching and a little more learning. You need to explain things to her. February 3rd. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, yesterday was the best. You looked good, except that your legs were too skinny and you needed more stuffing around the middle. I saw the other kids watching us when we went outside to look for your shadow. I bet they were jealous. Sincerely, Zach. February 28th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, guess what? I got a letter from the president and he asked me to vote for him, but I'm wondering if he knows I'm only in elementary school. Do you think Superman has an address? 'Cause I can't find it. Josh. March 25th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, I really don't think I needed to hold your hand the whole time we were at the aquarium yesterday. On the bus ride back to school, Sam said that you were my girlfriend. Sincerely, Eddie. April 11th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, who knew that a few little birthday candles would set off the sprinklers? Heck, I never even saw those sprinklers before today. Tell Mr. Hartwell that the cake still tasted okay, even if it was a little wet. Did you like our happy birthday song? With best birthday wishes, Daniel. April 18th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, I have enjoyed getting to know you and your class this year, but I must ask that from now on you refrain from using anything that burns, smokes, or even gets hot. By the way, tell everyone that I hung up all of their thank you letters at the firehouse. Sincerely, Phil. May 6th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, thanks for the letter. I'm proud of me too. I know my writing has gotten much better. Maybe it's all the practice I'm getting. By the way, do you know the address of any astronauts? Sincerely, Josh. May 27th. Dear Mrs. Hartwell, you didn't look scared or nervous today when Mrs. Burton visited our class. I told her that you were my absolute favorite teacher. And guess what? She said that this school has never ever had a teacher quite like you. We sure are lucky. Sincerely, Carl. May 31st. Dear Sarah Jane, please come to my office tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Mrs. Burton. Dear kids, thank you for a great year. I'm lucky to have had such wonderful students and I couldn't have asked for better teachers. Love, Mrs. Hartwell. P.S. Has anyone seen Daisy? The end.